Hello, everyone. My name is Ana Martha Ayala, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. On this channel, I discuss with you the degree theory by the late Nikola Stoyanovich. In today's video, I had a viewer request that I give my take on Robert Kennedy as a candidate for the presidential elections. So I decided to do a video on him, discuss his natal chart, Joe Biden, and Donald Trump's like the potential or what I see as far as the possibility of them getting elected, at least what the astrology says. Now, as a reminder, I do every video in English and in Spanish, and the degree theory is based on modern Western astrology using the Placidus house system. I had done a video on 5 presidents before this one a few months ago. And so I will not be discussing in detail Biden's chart or Trump's chart because I already did that in the other video. I will see if I can link it below so you guys can also go into the little details, all right? I will discuss the details of Robert Kennedy's chart because he's a newcomer, right? I didn't do a video on him before. And this is, I'm not going to give my opinion. I am just going to state basically what the chart says, okay? So I'm going to try to keep it as neutral as possible in every way, shape, or form. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to start with Mr. Kennedy's natal chart. So Robert Kennedy is part of JF Kennedy's family, which they're very powerful. It's a very powerful family. And you can see that Mr. Kennedy is a 2-degree Leo rising. 2-degree is the degree of supreme power. He has his sun in Capricorn at the degree of Gemini, 27 degrees. And if you go back to the video that I did on the presidents, on those 5 presidents, they have a lot. They always have something in Gemini, whether it's the ascendant or the sun, or that degree is present. The Gemini degree is present in pretty much all of them. From what I remember, all of them had something in Gemini because they're able to speak. In order to be a politician, you need to speak and discuss and, share a lot of information. Now, Mr. Kennedy has, or I should say, Senator Kennedy has the moon in Cancer at 13 degrees in the 12th house. The 13th degree is the degree of Aries. And he has his midheaven at 19 degrees of Aries. 19th degree is the degree of Libra. So his moon is conjunct the fixed star Sirius, which is Sirius. And what it means or what it denotes is having a lot of ambition, pride, being very, excuse me, emotional, having fame, leadership, wealth, but it also has fires, drought, danger through being very impetuous. Okay, and it is conjunct Uranus. It's a wide conjunction, but it's there. It's in the 12th house. So this is stuff that happens behind closed doors. All right. Now, we all know that the Kennedys, like I said, are very powerful and very wealthy people. So he has Pluto in the second house. So this gentleman has made very good money. He's not a billionaire because there is no aspect to Jupiter, but he does have he has a lot of wealth. So now there are 3 signs that denote leadership in astrology. it's Aries, it's Leo, and it's Capricorn. And this gentleman has all three, okay, to be a leader. Now, he has the sun in Capricorn, in the sixth house. So that would mean that his job can have a lot of long hours, to work a lot, but it could also be very boring because Capricorn is like a tedious, very boring job. Now, the fourth house, which is home and family, right? And then if you are a president, it also denotes, the country that you rule, your homeland. All right. So in the fourth house, he has Neptune. So Neptune deals with a lot of secrets, and it's at the 26th degree. So that's the degree of Taurus. So there's a lot of secrets involving money, wealth. There's hidden stuff in the family, and it could also bring losses. Even in his case, it's trining Jupiter, so I don't think that he's lost any money, but it's also squaring. He has a lot of squares from Mercury, from the Sun, from Venus. Now, Saturn at 8 degrees, we all know the degree theory, 8 degrees, it's a malefic degree. So, and it's in Scorpio. So there is some kind of secret related to Scorpio activities. Now, in the fourth house, it would denote family problems. If we're just talking about his personal life. If we're talking about the nation, it would bring poverty, most likely, and it would bring problems to the United States. And lastly, he has Mars in the fourth house at 16 degrees, which is the degree of Cancer, which most likely, there were a lot of arguments and issues, maybe related to death or Scorpio related stuff, which could also be other people's monies. But for the homeland, it would be potentially bringing war to the United States. So you can see that, oh, and then Mars is conjunct a fixed star called Kepha Borealis, which means evil accident and bad luck. The one thing that I can say is that the MC, right, is in Aries, which is also about war, about being a leadership, about having initiative, um, being enthusiastic. It's at the degree of Libra. So I think he would be very diplomatic as a leader, even though he has that very fiery disposition in his profession. Now, his midheaven was eclipsed on February 8th, 2024. There was a solar eclipse in Aries, like dead on his MC. It was at 19 degrees and 22 minutes. His MC is at 19 degrees, 16 minutes. So, looking at the transits, you have Pluto going through his sixth house. So there's a dramatic transformation, right? Um, at his workplace. Whatever you define workplace to be, I would think is all the political stuff. I don't know if he has other private businesses. Or it could also mean a dramatic transformation in health. When Pluto is transiting your sixth house, you need to be careful because Pluto rules surgery, right? Because it's Scorpio, it's the ruler of Scorpio. So his health, he should take care of it and, be mindful of it, get his PCP to check him out, his regular checkup, right? On a yearly basis. So, He has Uranus transiting, ending the transit of the 10th house. Um, so most likely he had changes during the transit of Aries through uh, Taurus, but it's now going into the 11th house as of November 5th. Okay, it is going into his 11th house. The 11th house, you could see, is 25 degrees of Taurus and 32 minutes. So that is conjunct algo right now because Uranus, when these elections are going to be something else. I can tell you that. So anyway, this is how there's, there could be potentially, a change in his career, but Jupiter, which is in the 11th house, Jupiter can bring opportunity in 11th house matters, and 11th house does rule politics. Um, Now it is all these squares to his sun and opposition from Uranus. And this Uranus in November, on November 5th, will be pretty much sextiling his um, natal Uranus. All of these oppositions and these squares are very significant for his natal chart. Now, when I look at the solar return for him, I put it at Washington, D.C. I don't know where he was on his birthday this year, but it is open to the 12th house by degree. And it's very close to his natal because he's at 2 degrees. So 12th house means losses. If we look at it by sign, then it's open to the first house. So it would be a very significant year for him. Um, Uranus is in the 10th house, so there would be a career change for him. If we're looking at the solar return, and then again, the sun would be at the 6th house, and then this time it would be squared by the moon for this solar return year, right? He has Jupiter is not aspecting his sun in the sense, well, yeah, it's squaring his sun. So, and it's conjunct Pluto in the solar return. So this is, I hope he doesn't have surgery, but overall, let me go back to his natal chart. Even though you see it's the his ascendant is 2 degrees 16 minutes. So the solar return is at 1 degree 54 minutes. Even though the solar return says that this would be a very significant year, we go back to the natal promise. I honestly, I don't think that this gentleman will be, um, number one, he might be selected as a Democratic candidate. That's potentially, um, you know, something that can happen. But the natal promise with all of these oppositions and all of these squares to his son to be a leader, right? Um, I don't think that he would be president of the United States. Even, I mean, it's a toss-up because he does have the second degree, right, of supreme power. And his MC was eclipsed earlier this year in April, so that eclipses bring, changes. But if I had to give an opinion, which I am going to, I don't think that he would be a candidate for presidency. So that's how I see it. Obviously, November 5th will be the ultimate decision maker, right? But I don't see him being president of the United States, at least not for this. Actually, I just don't see it, period. All right, so second candidate, the former president of the United States, Donald Trump. Now, like I said, I had done a video with the five presidents, which I will try to link below so that you guys can, like I go into detail about all of the fixed stars that are conjunct all of these gentlemen's chart. But just as a quick review, Donald Trump is a Leo rising at 29 degrees. So his rising degree is conjunct the fixed star Regulus, which is one of the royal stars. His moon is in Sagittarius at 21 degrees in the fourth house. His sun is in Gemini at 22nd degree, which is the degree of to kill or be killed. His MC is at 24 degrees, 21 minutes of Taurus. So it is conjunct Algol. Now, we're having this conjunction, right, with Mars, Uranus, and Algol in the summer on July 15th. And I believe that is the Republican political, discussion or whatever meeting, right? So something out of the norm is going to happen during that meeting, I would think. He's going to make some kind of shocking announcement. Maybe it has something to do with a vice president or something that he just says that shocks everybody. But the MC is conjunct algo. And with this conjunction happening, he's going to surprise us all. So now, as far as transits are concerned, former President Trump has Uranus pretty much conjuncting his MC. So there will be changes in his career. What those changes are, well, obviously I think he's going to be the Republican candidate, right? I don't see anybody else coming up against Mr. Trump. And he has Jupiter on November 5th transiting the 10th house. So Jupiter is going to be at 20 degrees of Gemini, which is an applying aspect to his sun. So this bodes very well for him. As far as maybe getting elected. I don't know who the Democratic candidate is for sure right now, and I'll explain when we talk about Biden's chart. But it does look very good for former President Trump. Now, nothing major is happening here in the fourth house, which is again the homeland, right? And he does have the moon there, so he could definitely rule the people, because in mundane astrology, the moon is signified by the inhabitants of the country. And now, assuming that former President Trump is elected president, and this is just an assumption, his sun is at the degree of Capricorn and to kill or be killed. Okay, so his eighth house starts at Pisces. The ruler of Pisces is Neptune, and it is transiting the eighth house. So the ruler of the eighth house is transiting the eighth house, which is, it does not bode well. Okay. And the ruler of the eighth house is in the second house. And to me, there may be an assassination attempt on him. I did take a look at the youngest son's chart, and it does look um, like potentially it could be successful. So this assassination can take place during maybe what do you call it? Like an event where there's food, second house, or an event that there's a lot of assets displayed, right? Like because second house is stuff that you own, your assets, um your house, your cars, things that you own, right? So this is and the reason I'm saying this is because Neptune, the ruler of his eighth house, is squaring Mercury at 8 degrees, which we all know that that's a malefic degree. And Mercury is the ruler of his sun, which is to kill or be killed. So this is why I'm saying what I'm saying. And if the second house starts at 23 degrees, the eighth house also starts at 23 degrees. So that is the degree of suicide. Now, we all know President Trump is not going to commit suicide. Just no, that's not going to happen. But it might look like a suicide. It might be made to look like a suicide, but it will be dangerous for him to get reelected. Um, of course, I hope that nothing happens, not only to him, but to anybody, any other candidates or anything like that. But he, unfortunately, his life might be at risk. So if anybody knows President Trump on a personal level, he has to be very careful. Um, could also be maybe bomb related because Uranus is there as well. But something with an airplane, a bomb can go off. It doesn't look good, according to his natal chart for his real. Okay, let me clarify. I do think he has very good chances of being the next president or being re-elected president of the United States. However, if that does happen, then his life will be at risk. Not only because ever since he became president, they've been trying to impeach him. And people don't understand that he's not part of the deep state. This man is, he has his own agenda. Let's put it that way. He's not controlled by the deep state, which other people may be controlled. So, anyway, that's my take on former President Donald Trump. I do think he does have a good chance of winning the election. And Neptune is not in the fourth house, not transiting the fourth house, but is transiting his eighth house. So anyway, enough about Trump. Biden. Biden. President Biden, just as a reminder, for everyone, he is ascendant Sagittarius at 3 degrees, the degree of Gemini. So he can talk a lot. His sun is in the 12th house in Scorpio at the degree of Gemini, 27. And his moon is exalted in Taurus at 0 degrees. So he has a very good moon. Now, as far as natally speaking, okay, so as far as transits are concerned, he has Uranus transiting his sixth house. So Uranus brings changes at work, changes in health, all right? Um, and it is opposing his sun. So this is not a good aspect to have. This means that you can lose your job, basically. Okay. Um, in the fourth house, Saturn on November 5th, Saturn will be around what, 12 degrees? Let me see. Yep, 12 degrees. So there's a very wide conjunction to the IC. Um, so Saturn means to lose, to like things that it brings difficulties, it brings restrictions, delays, etc. And he has Neptune transiting the fourth house, which Neptune is to lose something. So is he gonna lose a home? Is he gonna lose a member of his family, or is he gonna lose the presidency? All that is possible. Um, Let's see, where else? Pluto. Pluto is in the second house, so transforming his income. Okay. But no, transforming his job as well, because the second house is the money that we make from the job that we do. But in the 10th, that's where there's going to be an eclipse opposite his MC in October in Pisces at 25th degree. So his MC is gonna be his IC is gonna be eclipsed, and it's a wide it's not within it's within 5 degrees, so but it's opposite his MC, so that does not bode well for his job or his home. Um, and I don't know, I made a video on the eclipses where I showed that the two eclipses that happened. Um, Number one, Texas marks the X. And I also stated that since the eclipse is affected, which is the latest one is April 8th, it went through Mexico, through the United States, and through Canada. So um, that means that the elected presidents, right, at the time of the eclipse, that these people would be changed. Let's put it that way. And I know Justin Trudeau, the president or the of Canada, got a no confidence vote or something to that effect. And Biden's rating is the lowest in recent history. I think he's a tie with Jimmy Carter, which was also very bleak rating. In Mexico, I'm not sure because I don't follow the politics of countries and stuff. So therefore, I don't think that President Biden, number one, if he remains the nominee for the Democratic Party, which that remains to be seen, if he does remain as the nominee, I don't think he'll win the election. I think he'll lose the election. Um, So we'll see how things pan out, but it doesn't bode well for him. And I'm not sure if he's going to remain as the candidate for the Democrats or not. Um, but I just don't see, based on what I'm seeing in the transits, that, he's going to have a favorable outcome. Now, no matter who wins this election on November 5th, um, we have a lot of aspects that are going to cause revolts, revolutions, people demonstrating because if the Republicans win, the Democrats are going to, not be happy. And if the Democrats win, then the Republicans are not going to be happy. Whether one is liberal and the other one's conservative or vice versa, there is going to be an uproar and an uprising. So my recommendation for everybody is to avoid crowded places. There may be, because Uranus is involved, there could be sudden things that happen that create chaos. Um, and I don't mean to alarm anybody. I don't mean to scare anybody. That's never my intent. I just, want to make sure everybody is safe. So, especially if you live in Washington, D.C., stock up on food, on water, on fuel. So if you need to make a quick as exit, then you just have stuff that you can go to another family's member's house or a friend's house or something like that in case there are riots, revolts, like I said, people demonstrating and things get out of hand. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people have lost the ability to agree to disagree, right? To me, if um, your candidate doesn't come out in the election, doesn't win the election, there should still be respect for your fellow citizen as well as for that leader that, you as a U.S. citizen should support the President of the United States. So anyway, that's my take on the way things stand right now. I don't think Mr. Kennedy will be elected president. Biden, I think, is going to lose the race, and Mr. Trump has a very good chance of um, being reelected. But like I said, with that footnote, there will be an assassination attempt on him, most likely in the evening because it's Neptune rules the evening. And something food related, maybe some function, some dinner, some very nice event that's held. So again, if you live in Washington, D.C. or anywhere where these celebrations are going to be happening, be very careful, be very mindful of where you are. Okay. So as always, thank you for watching. Um, if you have learned something from this video, at least the astrology and how to read it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and send it to someone that can also be, benefit from at least the reading of the charts. Thank you for watching, and if you would like a natal chart reading with me, please send me an email to amaastrology@aol.com. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.